And so it'll capture everything.
Okay, dope.
All right, everybody, welcome to this amazing episode of Around the Loop. And I'm here actually in Oceanside with an Oceanside legend, and I have no other than
Oside Blaze, man. What up? What up?
thank you for being on the show. It's an honor
I
and privilege. I
appreciate
truly
you, bro,
appreciate it.
for
Thank you
sure,
so
man.
much.
No
Appreciate that.
doubt, man. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. So I just want to let everybody know I'm tapping in with Oceanside, trying to bring more folks out here, trying to bring more awareness to Oceanside, North County. That's my mission as a podcaster, and I'm here to unite people as well. So let's introduce the world, who you are. Let's tell them a little bit about yourself.
For sure, man. Well, my name is Oside Blaze, man. You know, I've been doing this for a minute, dog, and been representing Oceanside, man, and just holding it down. You feel me?
Yes, sir. And so I want to talk a little bit about your earlier stages in life. So let's talk about growing up in Oceanside. Were you born and raised in Oceanside?
Nah, man. I was actually born in Guadalajara. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Jalisco out there in Zapopan, you know what I mean? Shout out
Yes,
El
sir.
Zapote, Balcones del Sol, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shout out to the Rasta.
Yeah, I was
That's what I'm
born
talking
out
about.
there, man, and I came out here when I was like 6 years old.
Yes, sir.
You know, basically crossed the border with my mom's and my sister and stuff. And my dad was already out here, man. Like my dad came out here, he's he was out here like picking apples and doing all that
Yes, sir.
stuff when he first came out here. And eventually, when he got to Oceanside, then that's when he tried to bring us out here when he was like a little bit more settled in. But yeah, man, we came out here just basically had nothing, bro. You know what I mean? Like. We crossed the border and definitely times were hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we made it happen. Gracias a Dios.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing, and God bless you guys made it safely. It must have been a wild journey, honestly. I can only imagine what you gone through, and because my pop said the same thing. He had to cross too, and he's done it a couple times actually. So
yeah, bro. We almost got caught. No, we actually did get caught a couple times by by La Migra and shit, dog, and. It was almost at that point where we're already like gonna give up, basically. It was like, damn, we already got caught mad times. Like, my little sister was a baby, you know what I'm saying, and my mom was out here, like it was just us, and it was like basically like we were about to give up and just go back to Guadalajara, and one of my uncles, man, like he was basically like, you know what, I'm gonna go with you guys, like I'm gonna help you guys out, so. He came out here, he went out and met us. We were right there like in TJ, bro. Like like back then it was like basically like a little sewer thing, bro. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's basically like a little canal.
yes,
where you had like all the people that were trying to cross the border just waiting there, you know what I mean? Like that was the first time that I ever ate a noodle soup, bro. That we didn't, it was basically like we were struggling and it was me, my mom, and my sister, and I remember that we were like starving, bro. And then this one lady came up to us and she was like, "Hey, like, are you guys good and everything?" And she saw that we didn't have no food and stuff, so she offered us some noodle soups for me and my mom and my little sister. And from there it was kind of like we had already tried a couple times and we were just waiting. Like one of the coyotes that tried to cross us, he actually was like almost trying to take advantage of my mom for like one time. So.
Yes,
That's that was almost the last time when she got super scared and she was just like, man, like we got to do this like a safer way, you feel me? So it was about to be like we're just gonna give up, and then one of my uncles, like I was saying, he was like, nah, let me go with you guys, so that time when my uncle came, like he I just remember, bro, we were like hiding in some bushes, and he was just like, hey man, I'm gonna just hold on to my hand, you know what I'm saying? And when I start running, you just try to run as fast as you can, and I remember that he would just like, we were going down this mountain, and he would just like pulling me from my hand, and my legs were like flying in the air, bro.
You're pretty much
even like running no more, but he was just like dragging me, bro. And we, gracias a Dios, like we made it across finally. And like the only thing I remember from that time mostly was like we came to this big ass fence. You know what I mean? Like this super big ass, tall ass fence, bro. And across the street, you could see a McDonald's, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure it was right there in San Isidro where that McDonald's, I'm not even exactly sure, but I just remember seeing a McDonald's across the street. And so, they freaking, helped us jump that big ass fence. And when we came across, the first thing we did was go hide in that McDonald's, you know what I mean? So we went inside that McDonald's, bro, and it was crazy because I remember that was the first time that I ever tasted like a McDonald's hamburger. And I thought it was the nastiest shit ever, bro, because I was used to eating like tacos and shit and fucking
Like
quesadillas that my
food,
grandma, you know, rest in peace, she used to be cooking all the time.
Oh my.
And I was like, man, this shit is super nasty, bro. Like, you know, but
I wasn't
yeah,
expecting
it was
that.
crazy, man. It was a little journey, bro, for sure. But gracias a Dios, like we made it across, and Oceanside was the first city that we ever landed in. You know what I mean? And I mean, I didn't know no English, like nothing. You know, it was like kind of new. And the reason what motivated me, you know, what motivated me, like as I remember being like a little kid, and I was like, damn, I don't want to do this no more. Like running in the bushes and getting bit by mad mosquitoes and like getting caught by the border patrol and all this and that. And I remember my mom was like, she's like, look, when we get over there where we're going, there's a pool. And over there in Mexico, I had never seen a pool or been in no water or nothing, you know? So I was like, damn, I was thinking about the pool and I just wanted to be like swimming every day. And like, you know, that's what like, I was like, okay, like, you know? So when we first got to, you know, the first city we got to was Oceanside, bro. You know what I mean? So we got to Oceanside and from there we moved around like a grip of times. I remember being a kid and, you know, going from school to school, like freaking 5 or 6 times. Like I went to, you know, a bunch of different schools and even like schools in San Marcos and Vista, like all kind of stuff. I remember I went to this one school in San Marcos, man, and I was there for like 1 day, bro. And they gave me all the books, like everything to start like my classes. And then the next day, like, oh, we got to move again, you know? So that last time that we moved was when we finally ended up back in Oceanside and stuff, you know what I mean? So, and ever since then, we just, you know, stayed in Oceanside, bro.
Oh, I appreciate you sharing that. That's one hell of a fucking journey, honestly. It really is.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's inspiring. Man. So I want to ask, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the early days in Oceanside. So how was that? How was Oceanside growing up for you?
Well, it was pretty cool, man. I you know, I was fortunate to meet like some cool people and stuff growing up. Cause you know, it was basically like a bunch of just Mexicans, bro. It was still like a bunch of Mexicans around, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Oceanside definitely has like a lot of Mexican, you know, people and like culture still like in it, you know what I mean? So you know, thankfully like a lot of people like, you know, kind of helped us out too. Like we found some people that we could rent a room with and stuff like that. And you know, it was cool, but definitely like I started to see like a lot of violence also, man. Just like, you know, that was the first time that I ever seen like you know, gangs or even was like, you know, I remember being in the apartment and just hearing like shootings at night or like gunshots.
I want to ask,
shit,
what was your first experience of that? What was your first experience? Do you recall it? Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, man, I just remember like you know, a bunch of things, like I said, like you know, hearing gunshots and shit like that all the time, and like especially because we were right there in the Mid Valley, you know what I mean? So we would always hear like gunshots and shit would always happen. And I remember one time, man, I was like a little kid, bro, and like, cause we literally wouldn't even go outside too much just because of everything that, you know, like my parents would just like keep us inside and stuff. But I remember like we lived in some apartments and stuff where we had like a little balcony upstairs. Okay. And one of the kids that was renting there, like with their family that was renting there in that apartment too, like we were playing outside and like just I remember like that the ball fell out from the balcony. And some dudes were walking by, homie, like they, you know, they were definitely like, you know, some cholos and shit like that. And they fucking, you know, we were little kids, bro, and they grabbed our ball and they fucking like popped it in front of us and were like fucking laughing and shit like that. So I was like, what the fuck? You know, they were like straight on some asshole shit, but you know, just like, just stuff like that, you know, but it's crazy though, because as I started getting older and stuff like that, like, you know, I never, you know, claimed a set or was like, you know, and not because, you know, I didn't want to or because you know, because a lot of homies would always be like, oh, you know, be a part of this and be a part of that. Yes, sir. But I just felt like I never wanted to be a follower, homie. Like I was born to be like a leader, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't going to be listening to what anybody else had to tell me to do or how to dress or how to do anything, you know what I'm saying? So I always felt like I was a leader and that's why, you know what I'm saying? But I was always, you know, a hustler, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I was always cool with all the gangsters too, you know what I'm saying? Because I was a hustler. I was always looking for ways to make money, like, you know what I'm saying? So like selling weed, fucking selling all kinds of shit.
Well, you earned your respect. That's what it was. You worked your way to earn that respect.
Yeah, bro.
That's straight good. Up. And so, I want to talk about the name. So how did you come up with the name? How did the name originate for you, or did you go through a couple of changes?
It's crazy, bro. Because when I first started rapping, I was like, you know, like 16 years old, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
younger than that, bro.
Like in high school, man, I was I was like, you know, basically like I really didn't even have no homies and shit or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that a lot of my homies that I grew up with, like in the apartments and shit like that, they went to different high school. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to Oceanside, the high school that I ended up at, like I didn't really know too many people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, and I was hella quiet, bro. Like I didn't really like talk too much and shit. You know what I mean? Like I would never raise my hand in class or no shit like that. You know what I mean? And I just remember like, you know, I like the first time I ever wrote a flow, like I was just, you know, because this other homie in class was like writing flows and shit like that. And I was like, oh shit, you know. But you know, I was kind of intrigued by it a little bit. But when I really started getting into it, man, was like one of my cousins, man, like, because my pops used to play soccer like in Tamarack and a bunch of like soccer fields and shit all over the place. And I remember one time one of my cousins pulled up to a soccer game and he was like, yo, man, you got to listen to this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? So he showed me this fucking track, like it was a Big Pun song, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And when I heard that shit, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, I never heard nobody rap like that, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of intrigued me more with, like, the wordplay and how, you know, was playing with the words and stuff like that. So that's what's always intrigued me about, you know, rap music was, like, the actual wordplay, you know what I'm saying? Not just, like, you know, not just saying random words, even though at first it was like that, because, you know, you're just fucking learning and putting a bunch of words together. But eventually, like, the wordplay is what stuck with me and wanting to, like, you know, play with the words and be like, you know, just like, you know, almost like creative with it, you know what I'm saying?
I see.
But yeah, definitely, bro. That's like when I first started doing it. And, you know, like I was saying, like I was, you know, basically didn't have no homies or nothing. And I first was rapping and shit. But then I remember this one time we were getting off the bus. Yeah. And one of the homies, he was like, he was like, hey, man, like, he told me, hey, there's this one homie on the bus. Like, he just got to the school and, you know, he's brand new, man. But he said he wants to rap with you after we get off the bus. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we got off the bus and then the homie was like, he was like, hey, man, like, yeah, let's rap or whatever, yo. So we get off the bus and I'm thinking we're just going to, like, have a session and we're just going to be, like, rapping and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, just spitting flows back together or whatever. And as soon as we get off the bus, like, the homie comes up to me and he fucking takes off his backpack and he starts rapping at me. Like, he starts,
what the hell? It's
like
a rap
battling
battle.
me and shit. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, you know? That was the first time I ever heard of a rap battle, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a crazy introduction.
So he was like, yeah, man, he started fucking talking shit about me low key. And I was like, what the fuck, you know? So it caught me off guard, you know? Shout out to the homie Craze. But that fool fucking, you know, he started battling me. So that was the first time I ever, you know, even heard about battle rapping or anything like that. So that intrigued me also.
I see.
You know, so I spit some shit back at him, like, you know what I mean? And it was dope. So that was the first time I ever heard of rap battling.
Shit, okay.
So then I started getting into rap battling too, you know what I mean?
Got you.
I would battle like a grip of heads at school, man. Like I remember the first time that I ever, because that's exactly how the homie did it. He just, hey, man, you want to battle and like shit like that? And he just started rapping at me and shit, you know? So I remember one time I was like in high school, bro, and there was this new kid that had came from New York, bro. You know, and you know, we had PE class together, and he was like just saying like, yeah, man, like, you know, I come from New York, and I just overheard him, you know, like talking and stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I come from New York, dog, and you know, like I'm the illest rapper and this and that or whatever, you know. So I overheard him, and in my mind I was like, I'm gonna battle this fool, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna battle this fool, dog. So I remember like after class, I just went up to him and I was like, hey, what's up, homie? You rap? He was like, oh yeah, man, like, you know, I'll be doing it. And I was like, let's battle, homie. And it kind of caught him off guard too. He was like, oh shit, like I thought this was one of my autograph and shit or something, you know what I mean? So he was like, oh shit, and then the bell rang. And I remember like the bell rang and this fool was like, he was like, man, like, oh man, you know, I gotta go to class or whatever. Oh shit, it's all good. Let's battle tomorrow, homie. Let's meet right there at the, you know, where the little cafeteria was and everything. And so it was like, all right, bet, you know. So the next day, I remember like, you know, I went there and it was just me and two other homies, like two other Mexican homies were right there. And then we're like waiting for that food to come through. And then out of nowhere, bro, we see literally like 30 motherfuckers coming around the building, bro. He was like in front of them and it was like 30 dudes just coming through. We're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So like a big ass crowd, like it was all them and it was just us right here. And I remember they got there, and one of that dude's homies, like, we're literally right there, and then he was like, he just like kind of pushed me out the way. He was like, "Yo, who's the one that wants to battle you, man?" Like, because I didn't even look like I could rap or fucking that I rapped or nothing, you know. So he was like, "Who wants to battle you, man? Where's he at?" And then that fool was like, "It's this fool right here, homie." Like, he was laughing at me and shit, you know. He was like, "Yeah, it's this fool right here, man." You know what I mean? So, so he was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And they started laughing at me, bro. They were like, "Oh man, come on, dog. Like, you got this shit or whatever, you know." So I remember like he just basically told me like, "Oh, you let him go first or whatever," like, you know what I mean? And I remember this one homie, bro, like, I'm trying to think of his name right now, but I can't remember. But, you know, rest in peace for sure, the homie, man. Like, he came up and he started beatboxing and shit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So he's like, "Oh man, I'll beatbox and shit," you know? So he started beatboxing, and I remember that I spit like some crazy ass shit, bro. And like people, like I could see their faces when I started, like, cause at first they were like, "Oh, this fool, whatever," you know. But when I started rapping, and I could see their faces, and they were like, "Oh shit, what the fuck," you know what I mean? So I went off, like, I spit some crazy shit, and then after that, like, basically, like, the whole school had fucking formed, you know what I mean? Like, there was a shitload of people there because they thought it was a fight, because usually fights will break out when there was that big of a crowd, you know what I mean?
True.
So a bunch of people, I remember they came through, dog, and even the security guards, like, I saw them like pull up, but they were right there. And then once they heard me that I was rapping, they kind of like just let us go.
Yeah,
you know
they were probably all surprised and
yeah,
stunned
they
by
just
that.
like let us go, and you know. And I remember like I said some crazy ass shit, and the whole crowd was like just going crazy, bro. Like the whole school was like, "Oh shit," like, you know what I mean? And literally, that was the last time that I saw that dude at our school. He didn't even spit nothing back at me or nothing, bro. Like, it was that crazy, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't even say nothing.
Him, send him back.
He didn't even say nothing back, bro. Like, I literally was the last time I saw that fool at our school. But that was the day, bro. I remember like walking back to class, and everybody was shaking my fucking hand, bro. Like I'm telling you, I wouldn't say what's up to nobody, or nobody would say what's up to me. And I would always see people having their homies and going around, oh, shaking everybody's hand or fucking being cool. But nobody, you know, that was the first time I ever experienced like everybody shaking my fucking hand. And it was almost like when I got back to class, like everybody was turned around, like looking at me type shit,
the
you know.
limelight on you. That's what I'm talking about.
I feel like music really, you know, like opened the freaking, you know, gate like that. But going back to that about the name, bro, it was like, that was the first time I ever heard somebody say like, "Yo, man, he blazed them up." Like, "Yo, he blazed them up, homie."
Okay,
you know what I mean?
See.
So I was like, "Oh, Blaze, that sounds pretty dope, homie." You know what I mean? So at first it was just Blaze, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just Blaze and shit. So I was like, "Oh, that sounds dope, homie." You know? So I just went with Blaze. And as I started, you know, making more music and stuff like that, like eventually when I started going up to LA,
yes, sir.
Like, you know, one of the homies, he introduced me to Dr. Dre's son. And when I started going up to LA, because I was from Oceanside, I'm like, "Oh, where you from?" He said, "Oh, Oside." I was always repping the O, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like, I was always
sir.
repping
That's
the O
what I'm talking about.
everywhere that I went, bro, you know? So they were the ones that started calling me Oside, you know what I mean? So we're like, "Oside, what's up, man?" Like, you know, because I was always coming from, you know,
Yes, sir.
Oceanside and shit like that. So then I was like, Oside, man, that sounds pretty dope. Like, Oside Blaze, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it came about, and
I see
put
that.
both of them together. But yeah, he was one of the first ones that ever started calling me Oside. And
That's dope.
you know, then at Studio One, everybody was calling me Oside and stuff like that. But that's basically how I put both of them together, like Oside and Blaze, you know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that. And I actually took the moment, I was checking out your music and everything, your flows. Shit, it is. It's hot fire. It really is. I mean, it's that real true rap that it's like it's there and it's not there nowadays. It really is. It's almost like it's a lost art. There's some that can really still rap, and then it's like it's just wordplay. But for what you do, and it's storytelling, everything. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. The delivery, the rhythm and flow and everything. It's just yeah, you got it. You definitely got it. And I wanted to ask, so like, have you done performances and everything? And do you recall your first performance?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've done a bunch of shows for sure, man. Like, you know, we've done shows like all over the place, from here to like Rosarito and Las Vegas and like all kinds of places, you know what I mean? But I feel like that was one of my strong suits too, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, you know, could record tracks in the studio and just be like dropping shit all the time. But like an actual performance and to like kill it on the mic, like that's like a whole different thing too. You know what I'm saying? So my first performance, man, I don't really remember, but we did do some crazy shows in TJ too, bro. Where we one of the most memorable, man, was when we opened up for E40, bro. You know what I mean?
TJ?
And yeah, it was like in those days when TJ used to get like super popping, you know, and it was like everybody from high school was there, man. And I remember like, you know, I just, you know, being up on stage and just seeing mad people from high school and shit like that, and be like, oh shit, like, you know, so it was like mad people, you know what I'm saying? And we did shows for like Calle 13, and like, you know, we opened up for like Pitbull and a bunch of shit.
Oh, wow.
But definitely like the dopest experiences, bro, was like local shows too, bro. Like tearing shit up here, like in Oceanside, you know what I'm saying? And doing like a bunch of performances like that. And just like repping the city everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Sir.
So it's definitely dope, man. I love doing shows too. I ain't done no shows in a minute, but I definitely, you know, I'm trying to get back into it.
I was about to ask, is there one that you're planning to do sometime soon? If not, we'll make sure we let the people know to come out and pull up.
Yeah, definitely, man. Right now I'm working on a new album, but once I finish this, then for sure I might try to start doing like some more performances or some shit like that, definitely.
And wanted to ask a little about this new album. Not to give any secrets away, but I want to ask a little bit about it. So how long have you been working on this project?
This one, bro, I've been working on it for say like a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? This is one of like the fastest projects that I've done. Like
fastest? Okay.
Before when I would do projects, man, I don't know why I would have it in my head that like, yo, if Dr. Dre dropping one album every 7 years, and I'm gonna do the same shit, you know what I mean? And take my time on them and things like that. But lately, man, I've just been writing way more and being like more focused, you know what I'm saying? Cause you know, I just been like super more motivated, dog, you know what I mean? And just like super writing way more stuff and, you know, recording way more here in the studio and stuff like that. But definitely this album, you know, I've been working on it for like a year and a half, and, you know, I'm producing all the tracks on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just it's coming out dope for sure, man.
That's a blessing. And I wanted to ask too, you write your own lyrics from, I just got to ask, because some people have their stuff written for them. The more I start interviewing people, I start learning, it's like, okay, some do write their stuff, some it's just punching in, and some do it all in one take.
Yeah. No, I've ghostwritten for people too, man. Like, you know what I mean? I've ghostwritten for people too.
Okay.
And, you know, I've always like written my own shit. I feel like if you really can't write your own shit as a rapper, bro, then it's just like, you know, and a lot of people do it, bro, for some reason. Like, you know, I don't know if it's doper to them or they just like to have it easy, because it is a process, dog. But when you find the fun in it to, you know, be able to write a song like from start to finish and do all that, like it's more like personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when somebody writes a flow for you, then you got to do the reference track. You got to show them how to spit it, and they could try to do their best to mimic that, you know what I'm saying? But it's not the same, you know what I mean? So I know a lot of people do have their stuff written for them and stuff like that, but that's not the way to go for me, definitely, dog. You know what I mean?
And I want to ask, so for the folks on Around the Loop and the people on Around the World, because everybody's actually tapping in and everybody's going to be able to see this. So where can people actually find you if they want to tap in? Where can they find you? Just to let them know. And I'll make sure I put it across the screen too.
Basically, like, you know, social media has been like a big thing, bro. And I've kind of had to get adjusted to that. Because, you know, like I started, you know, super young and stuff like that. And for some reason, I always feel like, oh, man, social media like ain't really for me and stuff. But as music is evolving, it's more like about
like a marketing tool.
Yeah, like your marketing and stuff, and like, you know, doing interviews and things like that, and actually people getting to know you, so they know that it's not just music, bro. Like, I don't just go in a studio just to record some shit, man. I feel like I go in the studio, bro, and I'm still doing this shit because, like you said, like lyricism and all that stuff, it is almost becoming like a lost form, bro, because nowadays it's like people focus on like, oh man, let me see how gangster this dude is, or let me see how hard this guy, or let me see how many years he's been locked up, then I'll respect him, or then I'll do this and that. But like for me, bro, it's like about hip hop, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even though I bring like that West Coast flavor to my beats, dog, because Dr. Dre was like one of my biggest inspirations as a producer, bro, and I still feel like, man, Dr. Dre gonna hear my shit one day, you know what I'm saying? And
they definitely will.
You know, so it's like, since I bring that West Coast flavor to it, but I still feel like that hip hop element is like, you know, what I want to keep alive too, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just me going in a booth and just spitting a bunch of random shit. It's because I want to keep that hip hop essence alive, bro. And like a lot of people that have it in their heart, And like, I know it's like, man, like, you know, I know a lot of people spit like about, you know, being the most gangster, being like the most this and that, but like, my shit is lyrical shit, but I put real shit up in it
Yes,
too.
that's
You
what
know
I
what I'm
was.
saying?
Yes,
Like,
and I
I put
noticed
real
that.
shit situations, and it might take a while for people to decipher that shit. But if you really listen to my bars, there's like a lot of shit that I put in like real stories up in there, or like
Yes,
I'll
sir.
talk about some shit that's going on at the time, or like different things like that. But I still try to keep it lyrical. You know what I'm saying? With like punchlines and different like metaphors and shit like that. You know, because I want to keep that part of it alive still. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you sharing that. I really do, and I wanted to ask for the people out there on Around the Loop and around the world that are tapping in. What's some advice you can give for the people that are up and coming, people that are trying to get into a hobby? What advice can you give them? Because there's a lot of advice.
Definitely don't give up, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely don't give up. Like, if it's something that you really feel in your heart that you can do, don't give up, and don't listen to people that are giving you any advice that they never done before.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, if they're telling you like, oh man, like, oh, you got this little podcast, or oh, you working on this little album, or like whatever, like, you'll be able to like distinguish the people that are hating if you pay attention to their words. You know what I mean? If you pay attention to the certain words that they use, you'll be able to tell, bro. And if you feel it in your heart that somebody's hating on you, ignore that shit and just keep going, bro. And most importantly, bro, stay connected to God, bro. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not even about religion, bro. It's not even about, you know, oh, my religion is better than this one or that and this, because God is way more than that, bro.
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, religion divides people. You know what I mean? And he is so great and so amazing, bro, that once you actually tap into that divine energy, man, like, he brings you to that next level. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. And
like,
I can definitely relate to that. It's been a blessing ever since I first started the journey of this podcast, and I gave it to the hands of the Lord, and he took control of the wheel, and I just been riding the as passenger, and it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing in a journey. So I amen to that. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, bro, because when you try to make yourself big, or when you try to take it in your own hands to be like, oh no, I'm the shit, bro, I'm this and that, then God will humble you, bro. But if you humble yourself before God, then he will make you great in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather him do that than me try to do anything. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for folks that are tapping in with your music and stuff, when do you plan to release this upcoming project?
This one's gonna be out, I would say, you know, before the year is out this year. You know what I mean?
Got you.
It's already done, and I'm already been working on more tracks, even because the album was already pretty much done. But I'm like, oh man, I've been writing a bunch of shit, so I'm gonna be featuring, doing a track with the homie Seldom Seen today too.
Oh, God bless.
So you know what I'm saying, and I don't even have too many features on his album. I was almost gonna have like 0 features. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, okay.
But I'm gonna have a couple features, like the homie Seldom Seen, like the homie Diesel 831. You know what I mean? Like, just a couple homies that I used to rap with like before from back in the day, you know. And Seldom Seen, man, he's one of the dopest too.
I'm gonna have to tap in with them, and there's an open invitation to you, sir, too. I would love to have you on the podcast. If you'd like to be on it, I'll definitely reach out to you. And that would be a blessing.
Seldom Seen is a legend too, man. That fool was doing stuff with Night Owl back in the day, man. Like, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to Night Owl, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing a bunch of stuff with him, and like the first time I ever heard him too, man, he was one of the nicest I ever heard too, you know what I'm saying? So doing some stuff with him, trying to do maybe a track with Mr. Shadow, you know, Mr. Little One. We'll see what happens and stuff. But definitely, bro, it's gonna be sick, man.
I appreciate it, and thank you so much. And just to let everybody know, this episode will be coming in a couple weeks. I'll be announcing it, and I'll be posting it on Instagram too. So make sure you guys tap in. Make sure you guys tap in on Oside Blaze. Tap it on his Instagram. I'll put the link here. Show that love, support, and make sure you guys. It's really simple. It's a simple click. Check out his music. I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret checking out his music. His rhythm and flow is like no other. I'm telling you, and it's nice to hear true hip hop. It really is, and knowing that that art is slowly fading away, and people like him are still holding on to it and making sure that it's still alive. So I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm looking forward to having your homies on the show one day.
For sure.
And also having you again on the show and just catching up with you and seeing how life is treating you as well.
Most
thank you so
man.
much for being on the show.
I appreciate you for the invite, man. Like when you hit me up and you told me you was born and raised in the Oceanside, I was like, definitely got to show love to all of my Oceanside peeps, man, and everybody that's doing it in the Oceanside and holding it down for the city. Like Oceanside is like a culture in its own too. You know what I mean? Like, we're from, in San Diego County and stuff like that. And I feel like sometimes people kind of excluded us for a minute because we're like way at the very top and the very end, you know what I'm saying? But Oceanside everybody that's from the O and that reps the city, man, they know it's like a whole different culture in its own, man. You know what I'm saying? So proud to be from Oceanside and hold it down. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Oceanside and all the beautiful people out here, the beautiful culture. And I'm letting you guys know, I'm putting Oceanside on the map, and so is everybody else. And we're working our way to make sure that you guys know who we are. And, stay tuned, because it's not just LA, San Diego. It's going to be Oceanside too. I'm telling you guys, so much talent, so many bright faces. And it's just amazing. It's been an amazing journey. So tune in, y'all. And like I said, it's been an honor and privilege to have you on the show. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. See you next time for sure, man. Let's do it.
Appreciate it. And thank you. And that's a wrap.
That's dope, bro.
Thank you.